Hello everyone, and welcome back to your channel. Today, we've got Liverpool versus Newcastle. And what a night of football it was. Beautiful, chaotic, and ending with a brutal twist you rarely see. The first thing Liverpool faced wasn't Newcastle's players, it was their fans. A massive banner at the tunnel with a simple, powerful demand. Attack them! From the very first whistle, St. James's Park shook with fury. Every tackle, every challenge, every roar carried the weight of revenge and the hunger for respect. Because Liverpool is everything Newcastle aspires to be, and everything they envy. A club with history, power, and the ability to attract the very best, like Hugo Ekitike, who chose Liverpool over them. And while Newcastle fights for recognition, their brightest star, Isak, dreams of leaving, with Liverpool as his destination. The contrast could not be harsher. That's the fire that fueled this match. That's why the stadium burned with energy, anger, and pride. Now, let's break it all down and analyze this unforgettable clash. And what will happen for the future of both teams. What a match that was! Truly a game for football lovers. It was one of those nights where you couldn't take your eyes off the screen, and missing it would have been a real shame. Let's begin by saying this. Two top Premier League sides clashed, and both threw everything they had into this game. Starting with Liverpool, the absence of Alexis Mac Allister was felt immediately. Pairing him with Ryan Gravenberch usually gives Liverpool balance, but without one of them, the midfield struggled badly. It's clear, Liverpool's midfield is still a problem. One big change compared to last season is Florian Wirtz being used instead of Dominik Szoboszlai. And here's the issue. Wirtz is talented, technically sharp, but in the Premier League, he looks lost. Imagine him trying to go shoulder to shoulder with someone like Sandro Tonali. It's almost silly. In the Bundesliga, Wirtz had 2 or 3 seconds to control the ball, think, and create. In England, you don't even get 1 second. He hasn't adjusted yet, and it shows. Right now, the only midfielder who showed any real impact was Gravenberch, who even scored a beautiful goal. But Wirtz? He has been so underwhelming that instead of lifting Liverpool's game, he's dragging it backwards. Against Newcastle, he completely fell into their physical trap. He needs to wake up quickly, or he'll turn into just another lightweight player who gets bullied in the Premier League. Look at Eden Hazard, small, but he used his intelligence and balance to survive. Wirtz needs to find that same resilience. Liverpool brought him in to boost their attacking creativity, to make their already powerful forward line even deadlier. The idea was, if they concede 2, they'll score 3. But right now, he's not helping in attack, and also he's weakening the defensive work rate. It often feels like Liverpool are playing with just 2 midfielders. Add the African Cup of Nations this season, and things could get really complicated. But what was the strength of Liverpool? That incredible attacking line. Just look at the depth. Even player coming back from long injury, like Federico Chiesa, still carry superstar quality. His speed may not be what it once was, but the moment he steps onto the pitch, he brings danger and changes the dynamic of the game. And then there's Rio Ngomoha, one of the brightest young talents in the Premier League. Honestly, Chelsea were foolish to let him go. At such a young age, to come on and score with his first touch shows his composure and class. With that much talent up front, Liverpool can still fight for a top 4 spot, even if their defense keeps leaking goals. But for that to happen, Wirtz must adapt fast. It seems like Arne Slot has decided this season will be about attack first, defense later. That style works only if your attack dominates every game. But it's risky. You can't expect Hugo Ekitike to score from 30 meters every week. Virgil van Dijk is aging, and Ibrahima Konate, who was brilliant last season, looks completely lost this year. His mistakes will cost Liverpool more goals if something doesn't change. I think nowadays he is thinking, to a lot of things, expect football. And then there's Mohamed Salah. So why is he so quiet? The problem isn't really Salah himself. It's the lack of coordination around him. Last season, he had players like Luis Diaz and Trent Alexander-Arnold, who understood his game perfectly. The spaces Trent used to create with those pinpoint long balls simply aren't there anymore. And without that support, Salah looks isolated. What's interesting is that he hasn't shown any objection yet. Instead, he seems patient, waiting for new players to settle. But let's be clear, Liverpool still needs to be built around him. He's the leader, and if this team wants real success again, the system has to revolve around Salah. So, let's review again. Konate needs to find his top form again. Wirtz must adapt to the Premier League fast, and the forward line, with all its firepower, must develop chemistry quickly. If they do, we might witness the birth of a much more better Liverpool, something like last season's Paris Saint-Germain under Luis Enrique. But for now, this Liverpool Bugatti can't get into gear completely. If they don't fix things soon, they'll find them in trouble at such games. Now, let's turn our attention to Eddie Howe's exciting Newcastle. What a performance! They can truly be proud of themselves after this match. Right from the start, their transition from a 4-3-3 system into a 4-5-1 system was executed with precision and clean. They had clearly identified Liverpool's weakness in midfield. Two players with little creativity. By pressing and cutting off their passing lines, Newcastle made life extremely difficult for them. The focus on the physical dominance of Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, and Joelinton was spot on. And we can't overlook the brilliant game from Valentino Livramento. What stood out even more was Howe's refusal to switch into a conservative 4-4-1 after Gordon left the field. Instead, he went bold with a 4-2-3-1, showing the kind of bravery you expect from a coach who truly believes in his team. Especially when playing at home, Newcastle used their speed, height, and physical strength perfectly. They didn't care about distractions, not about Isak's situation, not about going down to 10 men, and not even about the fact that they were playing Liverpool. It was as if Eddie Howe and his team are built for nights like this. Of course, Newcastle doesn't have the squad depth of Liverpool, but what they do have is spirit. And if they play with this intensity, they'll be a team that no one can easily break down. That said, the same physical intensity that makes them so dangerous also creates inconsistency. No team can sustain such a high level every single week. But if Newcastle can maintain even close to this standard, finishing in the top 4 should never be in doubt. This match was a showcase of Newcastle's fighting spirit. Maybe, after equalizing, they could have been smarter, switching to a 4-4-1 to protect the draw. But overall, the style is clear. A powerful, fast, and fearless team. Their recruitment also reflects this identity. Signing players like Jacob Ramsey shows exactly what Howe wants: tall, quick, and impactful players who can dominate the box. But here's the real question. What's next? How does Newcastle take the final step to become a true European giant? Do they need a different type of signing, like a Jack Grealish profile to bring more creativity? Or should they keep their current DNA and trust this high-energy physical style? For me, this team reminds me of Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid from the past. Aggressive, fearless, and impossible to ignore. maybe it's time for Newcastle to officially announce their football philosophy and start chasing bigger honors. With the return of Isak, a couple of smart signings, and a commitment to this project, Eddie Howe could be building a team that not only excites the Premier League, but also makes a serious mark in Europe. And that's all for today on Football Roundup. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow with more exciting football.